Do you experience nagging aches and pains in your body? Or maybe there's certain areas that are a little bit tweaky. Well, I have a solution for you, or one solution, and it is Incrediwear. Incrediwear is our sponsor for today's show, and they have wearable anti-inflammatory sleeves, sleeves for your elbows, your knees, your wrist, your ankles, your back, all over your body, wherever you are feeling pain. This wearable sleeve is amazing. My husband and I both use the knee sleeve when we go hiking, and I'm telling you, I would not hike without it. My knee is a completely different knee with it on, and it has healed so many people. And there's been scientific studies proven that their wearables are incredible. So I want you to check them out. Support this show. If you're having any kind of aches and pains, I highly recommend their wearables. Go to Wendie Pett, that's WendiepETT.com/IW and get your wearable today. And now on to the show.
You're listening to the Visibly Fit podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Wendie Pett, and every week I'll give you holistic, practical solutions for everyday issues related to nutrition, healing, functional fitness, and behavior modifications. As a naturopath, fitness expert, and wellness coach for over 20 years, my goal is to empower you to reach for greater health and to rise up to your next level of living in mind, body, and spirit. You were created with greatness in mind. It's time to own it. Are you with me? Then let's dive in.
Do you deal with pain on any level, whether it's that twingy, irritating pain like the tennis elbow kind of pain, or maybe you're going through some physical therapy because you've had a surgery and you're in that kind of pain, or maybe you're wanting to prevent pain? Well, I have a perfect guest on the show today. His name is Dr. Jackson Corley, and we are going to talk a little bit about how to alleviate pain, and not just alleviate pain, but how to get your cells to operate at the optimal level so they can heal injury quickly. And you'll just be blown away and blessed by everything that Dr. Jackson Corley has to share. But Dr. Jackson Corley has been a chiropractor for 22 years. He is the founder of Incrediwear, inventor of the first natural wearable pain relief and anti-inflammatory for wellness. And his products and Incrediwear is located in 40 different countries. Yeah, 40 different countries. Incrediwear is used by top professional sports teams and colleges. Many top hospitals and doctors use Incrediwear. He is, and Incrediwear is making a difference in the healing space. And so I'm so excited to have Dr. Jackson Corley with us today. He's changing the world of healing by the grace of God. And he has an incredible story as well. So welcome to the show, Dr. Jackson Corley. How are you?
Great. I'm happy to be here. It's an exciting day every day. So
right, that we're alive, right?
By the grace of God, I'm alive. So, that's part of the story. And I think that's why I'm changing the world, just because I am. So
that's right.
It's a good thing.
Well, I'm so glad to see you again. I've known you for many years, and I had you on my Visibly Fit TV show years ago, and I actually met you years ago at a like a conference. It was a convention, or I can't even hardly remember the name of the convention. Anyway, we met, and I was blown away by your product, and we got to talking. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy has got so much to share, and I wanted to share it with my audience. And so I first want to just dive in. And let's talk a little bit about what Incrediwear is all about, and how you started with the passion of this healing wearable, and because you have a personal story. So let's start with you first.
Yeah, I was really pretty good at my practice of being a natural healer chiropractor for years, and worked on Olympic athletes and NFL players, and had a booming practice. And I think,
and you're out in California. Right?
Yeah, I'm in California. Yeah, and I think that we get into that role as just people every single day, and we're just thinking, okay, is that where God's supposed to point me? And I always believe that when you're doing that type of treatment, that it's healing from within. It's that innate ability to heal, but you need that that help, the divine help. And one day I was up mountain biking up in Chico, California, and up on a cliff area by myself 2 days after Christmas. And I didn't have cell service, and it was late at night. I mean, the sun was going down in like 15 minutes, and I had 10 miles to go. And I'm riding my bike, and all of a sudden, I flew off a ravine. And the way I landed is I protected my face and head by putting my hands out, but a rock stopped me from going about 25 more feet. And what it did was it threw my hip sideways, and I was just like, oh my God.
And you're by yourself. You're by
know?
yourself, no cell service. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. I get ready. I mean, I get when I do interviews all the time, it's like, what are you doing by yourself with no cell service? Didn't your mom
you're a
teach you
dude.
well?
Yeah, you're a guy, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. So I was thinking, oh man, I got to get up on my bike. I got to work tomorrow. No, actually that was a Friday night, I believe. And so I thought, okay, I gotta get going. So I get on my bike and I ride back, and, it had flipped past me. I pulled it up and I rode, and I thought, oh man, God, maybe I broke my wrist. I took a shower. I was like, okay, I can do this. The next morning I got up and I did the same ride again, but I couldn't stand up straight. I was like bent over, and
wait. I have to put a pin in that for just a minute, because you did what? You did that ride again?
Okay. There we go. I was an elite athlete at the time. So it was like, okay, well, you know what? I can do this. I'm tough.
You were still running on adrenaline is what you were running on.
Well, there's no doubt, there's no doubt. And I think that, stupidity is a male thing, not to say I can't cross over, but so I ended up doing that, and I rode it, and I could bend over, and it was like, oh, that feels okay, but I couldn't stand up straight. And I went home after the ride. I walked around the ravine area, and I got home, and I was like, okay, well, you know what? I can stand up now. I'm going to go dig some holes. So I dug some holes, and I was like, wow, hey, I can move around. And then I said, well, wow, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to go on a 10-mile bike run tonight. And so I put on my headlamp and my waist lamp, and I went out on a run, and halfway through the 10 miles, I was like, oh my gosh, my foot's starting to drop. It's just like pounding on the ground. And I was like, oh no, something is not right. And I got back to my house, took a shower, and I showered off, and I couldn't feel my leg. I literally couldn't feel when I was showering, drying off my skin. I couldn't feel it. And I was like, oh no. And I went to bed that night thinking, okay, I'm going to be okay. And that was the next morning. I got up, and my practice was really, really packed, and I started it at 5:45 in the morning. And so I got up at 4:30 like I normally do, and took one step. And that was the last step I took for 4 months without having severe pain. And what had happened is I had herniated 5 discs in the low back, 2 in the neck, and I didn't know it. Oh, and one was 22 millimeters up the spinal cord into from L4 to L3. And really, the surgeon should have done surgery at the time, but was a friend of mine and said, oh, come back in a couple of weeks. And it turned out that I ended up going to 4 surgeons, and half of them wanted to fuse my spine, half didn't. And some of them, they said, well, I don't know what's going to happen. And so, I was meditating with God in presence, just praying and praying and praying. And all of a sudden I got a divine inner, message coming down saying, hey, you've been studying this, you've developed products in the past, make something for yourself, get out of that chair, which I couldn't get out of the chair by myself. I was literally in walkers and
so much pain.
Oh my gosh. It was, people had to pick me up and to move me in places. And, I was in really, really good shape. And it was just really, one of those things was tough on me, but
as a chiropractor, to experience something like that you're usually working on patients for, right? For you to have to feel that, had to been just humbling, right?
I was so not smart. I was going to use a different word. For 1 week, I thought I can do this. And so I was working on a lot of people a day, hundreds of people would line up. I'd have an hour wait at my door. And I told my staff, okay, I'm going to try this for a week and see what I can do. And I had them put chairs in rooms so I could go from chair to chair. holding onto them. And then people would come into one room and go out. And I actually did that for a week. And it was probably this most ridiculous thing a human being could do. And
but you are so much of a giver, from what I've learned of you over the years, that you want to help people, and you were willing to go that extra length and go through that pain yourself so that you could serve. You know,
absolutely.
and so
And
that's a
that's what life's
beautiful
about.
thing, and yet
Yeah.
it can come with a cost. So you had to be wise in the moment as well. So then what happened as God downloaded this get up and do it yourself moment?
Yeah, it was an incredible thing because literally I was studying germanium as a computer chip, I read and read and read, and so I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Hey, what if I put this and that and try this? And so I made a back brace and put it. I finally got it probably in April. This because I did the accident in December, and then I put it on. I was like, wow, this is crazy. My back doesn't feel hot anymore. And I was like, by the grace of God, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, healing is happening. And
Wow.
this whole process, when I look back, it was like, okay, now my foot drop started getting better, and my back started getting better. And I was like, wow,
Over
you know
what
what?
length of time?
Oh, just like 2 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it was already starting to heal.
Mhm.
Immediately I had pain relief. It was
Right. And
crazy.
so germanium, just so those that are listening, is a mineral that helps to carry oxygen to cells, right, for healing.
It's
And so let's talk a little bit about germanium and all that you know about it, and so that we can educate those that are listening.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was exciting is that really I didn't know anything about it. When I look back, I was like, wow, I just happened to be studying this. So
That's why
what we
God can
didn't
get all the credit, right?
correct. And I really do feel like that when I look back, there was a hand pushing me off the bike, because
Mhm.
why would I leave something successful? For everything bad in life, if you believe and you have that belief system, that there's an end, something that's good that's going to happen. And so I held that thought every single day. And so essentially what happened was I was this studying about germanium. Oh, everyone has a phone, everyone has a computer nowadays, and you have silica inside. It's a semiconductor. And what I was studying was semiconductor. And then in Japan, they were actually taking germanium orally to increase oxygen and help the body heal. But they were saying, okay, well, you know what, I just want something on the outside. So I took germanium. It's a semiconductor, and when it touches your skin, it starts releasing a mid-level infrared optical wave and starts vibrating your cells. And when it does that, it's like a million micro massage machines underneath your skin.
Yes.
And when it does that, it's like vibrating. And just imagine when you're sleeping, everything slows down and stops. Really not your heart, but your muscles don't contract, so you're not pushing the lymphatic system, you're not getting as much blood flow, and yet your body, when you wake up in the morning, is so stiff. Why is that? It's because your body is swelling during the night. It's trying to heal, but it's retaining water. And what I didn't know then, and I didn't find out until 2017. So even I think after we did our talk last time, is that it never stops releasing mid-level infrared optical waves. It was done by Boston University. It was a peer-reviewed study, and it showed that it's vibrating the cells, because all I knew was, oh my gosh, this feels amazing. And I could put my finger under a microscope. I could lay the product on you. I could see increased blood flow. We're healing because of blood flow. We're healing because we're getting more oxygen and nutrients to the cell. But
Diminishing
in
the
reality,
inflammation.
but increasing blood flow doesn't get rid of inflammation.
But it's helping.
It helps. But what gets rid of inflammation is vibrating the cells and muscle contraction. So what we found out later was, oh my God, we're moving the lymphatic system while at rest. Yes. Meaning you could be sitting in a chair. I could take a diabetic or a lymphatic patient that's swollen, or someone that's not healing, and put our product on, and you don't have to go to the therapy. It is therapy. And that's what we didn't have on the last time you interviewed me, is it, this is God created miracles on this planet, and he did it by placing things here for us to figure out and find.
Amen.
And
Yes.
this is one of them. I mean,
Yes.
silica, we could say, oh yeah, it's a semiconductor. Yeah, phones. I think the phone is the worst thing that could ever happen to society.
Oh,
You know, that the internet, you know,
that's
what's
a
going on.
whole other episode right there.
I mean, we have great
Yes.
communication, but
But
really, we took this germanium and I put it in every single product that I make. And now we do everything from skin regeneration to arthritis and down the line. But this germanium and really actually carbon molecules do the same thing. And I'm looking for more and more things to do this. But just imagine you can wear something that makes you feel amazing when you wake up.
And it does, whether you wear it while you're sleeping or while you're hiking. And see the sleeve right here?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this
You
is
have
a
one.
knee sleeve. And if I did not have this when my husband and I go on our hikes, I don't know how my right knee would do, because it has been a godsend. Because we've done some pretty strenuous hikes and it has not let me down all these years. I mean, it is amazing. My knee used to really wear out, and the back of my knee would pull with inflammation in the back. It doesn't do that any longer when I wear the sleeve. So all that to say is I do know it works, and the power, and we've talked about this before, but germanium is a conductor to help vibrate those cells. But we've talked about even the power of words and how, we speak life or death. And so the power of words can vibrate us at the cellular level. And so as we're wearing your product, I would highly recommend, of course, speaking life over your life. It's only going to help the cells vibrate even more optimally. And so the fact that you had a better instead of a bitter moment is changing the world. And so I'm so grateful that you had decided to go better and not bitter.
Yeah. And but we have to live life. I mean, as if today, I mean, we don't know if we're going to be in an accident today. Right. We don't know what's going to happen, but what we do in life affects everyone else. I never made this for money. In fact, the first 4 or 5 years, I didn't even pay myself, to run this company. And the thing is that what we forget in life is the most important thing is that every day is a gift. Yes. And when you wake up, if you don't open that gift, unwrap the present, and be grateful for the things that you have, disability is not in the body, it's in the mind.
Yes.
It's not the ability for you to function like you should because of you. And it's only you that can actually make that difference. And I mean, we're on, I think 28 NBA teams and 15 NFL teams. And we didn't even call the last 20 teams in the NBA. They called us to get the product. That's the same as the word of God too.
Absolutely.
What we should be doing is we should be showing and living life and being giving, and it's so funny. I don't know if I have time to share the story, but I'm a giver big time. And it's so funny because one of my main people that are here that works for me, she said, you know what, the other day someone came into the office that's just wanted to thank you. And I was like, why? What happened? Oh, well, you were at a gas station and you saw someone limping and they had an issue. And so you just opened up the trunk and gave them a product. And it made such a difference. The wife had cancer. And so they ended up, it was like a miracle, as a godsend for that particular person who had so much swelling and so much discomfort as a result of breast cancer, that they got better. 7 years later, they came up and, just wanted to tell me thank you. And I think in life, if, with my products, we have products for every single body part, from headaches to, diabetic neuropathy. We're doing studies on, total knees and, every condition you can have. Is that, we should be trusting him in everything that we do. And we should not be putting things in our body that we don't even know what the side effect is, really. Right. Or we do know what the side effect is. And, on the TV, it says, oh, it could create death. Why not try something that can make a difference, that is holistic, that is actually scientifically proven and peer reviewed and sold in, like you said, 43 countries. So
and germanium is It's holistic. It's in broccoli. It's in shiitake mushrooms. It's in onions. You can eat germanium. In fact, we need germanium. It's a mineral. So to have it on the inside and outside as a wearable is awesome. I mean, the fact that it can be in a wearable like kind of blows my mind,
Yeah.
just how that works. But it does. It works. And I love the way it makes my knee feel. And I've had so many of my clients and patients that I refer to this Incrediwear as well. But let's talk a little bit about, if you're okay, I don't know if you can share any of the celebrity or athletic, athletes that are endorsing your products and kind of their experience with them, or maybe just a couple testimonials. Not
Oh
that this
yeah.
is like an infomercial, but man, these are great
We'll go
stories,
sports stories. Well, I have to tell you that orthopedically, when Aaron Rao just sat right here in the office right next to me about 8 or 10 years ago, it was he was in here with his dad, and I just noticed that Aaron just posted a picture. If you can go to his website or his Instagram, and sitting next to him is David Bakhtiari. And David is wearing 2 knee sleeves sitting up on the stadium wall next to Aaron. And Aaron really gave the products to their players first. And the reason why I bring up Aaron Rodgers is because he actually took the product and gave it to his linemen because he wanted his linemen, to feel amazing. And one of those linemen went down to Andrews Institute wearing my leg sleeve after he had ACL injury. He was getting an ACL surgery. This is like 2012 or 2011. And Dr. Andrews looked at him and goes, "Oh my gosh, what is that? Wow, that's pretty easy to put on and take off. Wow, if you're using it and it feels good, I think we should start using it."
Oh,
he's the most famous orthopedic surgeon in all the United States for ACL and Tommy John surgery. And that's where it all started. And, when we look back, the hand of God pushing me off the cliff, and then all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers in my office. And then all of a sudden we're over here, we've got, David, one of the Packers going down for surgery, and then it loops around. And, so when we take a look at athletes, I mean, I called up the Warriors because Steph Curry was having ankle problems and Iguodala was having hamstring issues, and they never called back. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I'm going to call again. And I called again. And the trainer said, "Oh my gosh, you were in a bad cell area." I was going to call you back right away, but I couldn't get the last few numbers of your cell number.
Oh,
I'm so glad you called back. And literally that's how I started with the Warriors in 2013. And so, I mean, we've got pictures of Steph Curry wearing arm sleeves and all that. I mean,
that's a good reminder, actually, that the fortune is in the follow-up. Because if you hadn't followed up, how would you have known he didn't have your number, right? We just assume, wow, they don't want to get back with us. And really, it was just he didn't get your phone number. So
I was on a mission. This is my team.
Right.
I wanted to help them. And so as a result of that, we ended up getting, I think the the Dallas Mavericks went down there, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is incredible. Hey, can you go up to the Denver Nuggets? Because I have a friend that's a trainer up there." So I flew up the next day up there, and they said, "Hey, I've got a friend over at the New York Knicks. Can you go over there?" And so I went and did a demo there. That was the only 4 NBA demos that we ever did. And now we have 28 teams because everyone hears about it. And that's the same thing, Premier League and all these different things. But I think,
but it's one thing to hear about something, Dr. Corley, but it's another to hear about something that works. And that's the difference, that the sleeves are making a difference in these athletes, and they're helping them perform better and heal quicker and just, regenerate and optimize their recovery. So
amazing. Yeah, we did studies showing that you can reduce injury rate by 50%. And it's like, when we got that, I was like, there is no way. There's no, we got to reject this. 50%. That was done at USC, and it went from 24 days to 12.5 days. And I went, no way. There's no way they did that. So let's do it again. So we did that in Germany. We got the same result. And then we also found that we reduced injury rate by 67% if you wear us because you don't have a problem. And so we thought, wow, let's go to the NBA. And the NBA referees, we did a study last year with them, and it was like 92% decrease injury rate. And so there's things that happen that in life, I think happen, like we said, for a reason. And, we have studies going on in neuropathy, chemo-induced neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy, facial reconstruction, headaches and all these different things. And, when I look back, I do think that we have to look and say, okay, who helped us along the way? So a picture of Steph Curry wearing the product, or now I see we never gave product to anyone. We don't give product to athletes. They have to buy it. So I see Odell Beckham wearing it. He's posting a picture. I see Gareth Bale over in Europe. He's one of the top soccer players, posting pictures, sitting there just going, this is what I'm wearing. And that's what's happening around the world, whether it's, military or if it's hospitals. Now we sell product to Johns Hopkins. We sell product to all these amazing places, because what does it do? When you go in and you have an ache or pain, you go to a doctor, they want to give you something that actually works, number one. And number two is they don't want to give you medication first. They want to give you something that has a potential to get rid of pain, get rid of inflammation. And when you wear it, wow, the healing can happen that God gave you, the innate ability to do that. And so now after surgery, pre-surgery, after an injury, we're the first thing they put on. And that's where I really want to change the world. And I think, I'm on a mission to really try to bring natural healing and the ability to heal, on your own with not worrying about, oh my gosh, what is this doing inside me? Because I can't see it. Well, you don't have to worry about that. And I think that's I think that's why this is divinely driven.
Well, and I think that's why we have such a good connection, is because we both are on a mission to help people heal naturally. With my Visibly Fit exercises, and then with your sleeves and just all of it, it's kind of a conquer and layer approach. But when there's simple things that you can do that really do create results, we're just on a mission for people to get healthy and well. And so that's one of the things I love about you. But what about someone who is listening that they're not an athlete, they're never going to be an athlete, but and maybe they don't even have an injury right now, but maybe they're just a little tweaky in certain areas. What would you say to that person, and why is it important to invest in maybe these sleeves early on to prevent? And no one's immune, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially as we get older.
And over 40, I think it's 80% now that people have arthritis and degeneration. And we did a peer-reviewed study in England in 2017. We showed that we could reduce pain. It was the VAS score was, I think it was almost 50%, and then increasing range of motion as well, and pain by 62%. And look at, you're a person that, okay, I'm not going to get on females now. Okay, yeah, I was bad. I was a male. I fell off a cliff. I was in a place.
Hey,
I didn't
women do
have cell
stupid
service.
things too.
Okay.
So. Hey, remember, I was in a snowmobile accident, and that's what propelled me to do what I'm doing. So we're both in that accident, stupid place.
Well, I'm going to go on the women's side is that, women are really good in their 20s and 30s. They're like, oh, you know what? I want to look a certain way, and I want to make sure I don't age or what have you. And I want to stay in shape, and I want to, and I think generally I'm just going to go generally.
Yeah.
And I think in life, we have to think about that. I think we forget is that, look, when you finally have a symptom, it's already been there for a while. When you have cancer, it's already developed. When you go in and you get an x-ray and you go, oh my gosh, I have arthritis. How did that happen?
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
not overnight.
I was in a snowmobile accident and I did nothing for it. And just because you don't have pain or discomfort doesn't mean you shouldn't be exercising. You shouldn't be taking things that help your body, because you can't, you can't predict what's going to happen in 10 years from now. But what we do know is through science is that we can actually help prevent it. And we've shown that just recently. We've finished doing studies on surface EMGs embedded in our product, where you're sleeping in our products, and we can show that, look, we can lower your muscle load. We can balance your muscles so you don't create imbalance just by sleeping in our product. And in doing so, now when you go and exercise the next day, you can train harder, train longer, and you're going to recover faster. And just think, if we're doing that to a muscle, it's doing it to an organ. It's doing to every single cell of the body. Just like if I don't take an antioxidant, inside my body, I have all these bad things, these hydrocarbons that are creating damage, and you can't see it until
Those
it's
free
already too late.
radicals, right?
The free radicals.
Yeah.
And now we're doing studies on us. We're releasing, not only germanium does this, mid-level infrared optical waves, but it releases negative ions. And this is earthing. God put on this planet the ability for the earth to emit negative ions from the earth. And that's why in Costa Rica and Okinawa and Sardinia, people live the longest. They eat differently, but these negative ions, I mean, thank God dogs can go and lay out on, on the grass, and animals and so on. But,
But people are indoors so often that they're not getting
concrete.
those ions as in concrete. Exactly. It's a problem. Yeah.
Rubber shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Go barefoot, walk, do some grounding. Yeah.
Yes. And that's what Incrediwear we're doing now, is studying what it does chemically and act as an antioxidant in your body. If you can raise your pH level, now you tend to be healthier. So as we talk to the normal person, I mean, if you have even like Raynaud's or Raynaud's, depends on how you say it, the hands turn purple, or carpal tunnel, or tennis elbow, or knee pain, or arthritis, or even back. That's one of the big things that, I do everything. I literally, I ski and I can't run as fast, but I can bike and do all those things. I wear my products, of course, and sleep in them every single night.
And you didn't have surgery.
I did not have back surgery.
And neither did I. So there you go.
I just had an MRI again. I have 9 herniated discs, and I have severe degeneration with very, very small holes for the nerves to come out. But listen, by the grace of God, and by Incrediwear, it's really made a difference. And so, and if you're exercising, if you're doing Wendie's activities, you got to remember that, you're exercising, but if there's an imbalance or you're not recovering, you can potentially create injury. So wearing our products just for prevention is probably the smartest thing that you could do on this planet, besides praying,
That's good.
But as far as, trying to keep your body good. And I think we need to think of the very first thing that you can do for your body that's natural before going the next step, surgery or pills.
Yeah. Let's go the holistic approach first, and then go from there. So that's so good. Well, what would be, as we kind of end our time here together, you're just a wealth of information, and it's just fun to hear all the exciting people that your product is enhancing and making better. And you just shared a couple stories. But it's just so awesome to see the mission that God has you on. But what would be like one word that sums up your life and who you are? Putting you on the spot there.
I don't.
You could use 2 if you need it.
You know what? I don't think. I was going to say it's not fair. I think that words can describe you, but really it's your actions. And I would say living the path is my mission. If you looked at him, you said, he's living that path that he's supposed to be on. Yes. And I think, every person that you meet, you say hello or happy, you affect who they are, and you affect their day. And that joy, I mean, you could use all kinds of words, joy and gratitude. And there's just so many, but I just think that we need to introspect. And now you're going to make me do that, because one word, whoa. I would just say, if I did one word, I would just be grateful. Or thankful. And, every day at the end of the day, I say, thank you, God, for this amazing day. And when I wake up, oftentimes I should send you pictures. I go watch the sunrise, because it's like the most consistent thing in life is the sun coming up and the sun going down. And when you see it, you're thankful, and it just reminds you. And so I think I'm blessed, and that could be another word. So there's so many different things.
That's so good.
Yep.
That's so good. And I think about the sunrise and the sunset, and how even animals go out to see the sunrise and the sunset. So we all have that longing and that desire for that certainty and that knowing that we have a bigger that's in charge of us, right? So bless you.
You said something. I think that you are on your path, And it's when you have certainty, which you just said,
Yeah.
when you have certainty and you're on purpose and you are filled with that joy and that spark that you've been given, you know you're going in the right direction. But just like with me, you know what? You can go down the wrong road, or you can have these negative things that happen to us. And you have to know that something good is going to happen, but you have to do it because you believe. And when you believe, you know it's going to happen, and you have that faith, and you're going to be fine.
That's so good. That's so good. Well, I just adore you. Thank you so very much for sharing your story and sharing your incredible products with us. If you're listening and you want to check this out, this will actually help to support this podcast. And you go to wendiepett.com/IW, and you'll see all the information there. You can purchase whatever sleeve you need that would best suit you. But definitely go to wendiepett.com/IW and get your Incrediwear product today. I can't tell you how much I love my sleeves. So anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Corley. And you are a blessing, and continue to do your great work.
You're welcome, and have a great day. Thank you, all the people that were listening.
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Visibly Fit. We'll catch you next week. Okay, I have to insert this really quickly because Dr. Jackson Corley sent me something right after our interview, and I cannot not share this. So this is the photo if you are looking at this on YouTube. So hopefully maybe you'll go over to YouTube and check this out as well. A photo of a gentleman that he was from Nigeria, and he happened to be in Dubai where Dr. Jackson Corley was speaking. And this particular gentleman from Nigeria, he had needed a foot amputated due to a serious car accident 6 months prior. And during the lecture, he put on one of the Incrediwear wearables, and within 30 minutes, he was able to move his toes. And within 4 days, most of the swelling had dissipated. And within 3 months, y'all, he was able to wear shoes again and no amputation. This is huge. This is the power of having the right products, right? The right tools in your toolbox. And this is a great tool to have in your toolbox. And Dr. Jackson Corley said that he was a religious man, and he told him it was only by the grace of God that he even came to listen to him, to listen to a lecture 1,000 miles away from home. So yeah, check out this image. Is this not amazing? I mean, it's kind of gross to look at too, but just it speaks volume. So if you are even inquisitive just a little bit of can Incrediwear work for you, I believe it can. Try it. What do you have to lose? My goodness. Go to wendiepett.com/IW, and you will be able to get a discount there, and it will also support this podcast with every order from that site. So thank you again, but I couldn't not share this. So I hope it inspires you and encourages you that our body really is made to heal itself if we give it the right tools and the right food, nourishment, and just the right protocols. So this is hopefully a good tool that you can use in your toolbox to eliminate any kind of aches and pains. And my goodness, for this man, an amputation. So long for now. And we'll catch you next week on Visibly Fit. In the meantime, make it a Visibly Fit day.
Well, that's a wrap for today's show, so thank you so much for tuning in. I love spending this time with you. To learn more and get more free resources, just head on over to wendiepett.com, and thank you in advance for sharing this episode and this podcast, following and subscribing not only to this podcast, but finding me on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, I'm probably there too. Until next week and our next podcast time together, make it a Visibly Fit day.